What kind of terror can make an entire civilization disappear beneath water until not a single voice remains? Imagine a world where people wake up laughing, mocking a prophet of Allah, completely unaware that their final day on earth has already begun. Children run through the streets, merchants continue their business, the leaders sit proudly among their people. And in the middle of that world stands an old man building a giant ship under the burning sun. No ocean nearby, no river nearby, only dry land stretching endlessly before him. People gather around him and laugh. They point at the ark. They insult him openly. Some call him mad, others mock the believers beside him. But the Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام, does not stop. Because while humanity sees wood and nails, he sees the approaching punishment of Allah. Then, suddenly, the sky changes, the winds begin to roar, clouds spread like darkness across the heavens, the earth trembles beneath human feet, and within moments, the world begins to drown. Water bursts from the ground itself, rain crashes from the sky with unstoppable force, mountains vanish behind giant waves. The same people who once laughed at the ark now scream for mercy, but the door of mercy has already closed. This is not merely the story of a flood. This is the story of divine justice, the story of human arrogance, the story of Prophet Nuh عليه السلام and the great flood that erased an entire nation from history. For nearly 1,000 years, Prophet Nuh عليه السلام called his people toward Allah. Generation after generation heard his voice. He spoke to them in the daylight. He spoke to them during the darkness of night. He warned them publicly in gatherings and privately inside their homes. His message was simple: worship Allah alone. But instead of listening, the people became more arrogant with every passing year. The wealthy chiefs mocked him constantly. The powerful leaders insulted the believers who followed him, and the nation slowly became blind to the truth standing directly before them. Prophet Nuh عليه السلام watched entire generations die upon disbelief. Fathers rejected him, then their sons rejected him, then their grandchildren rejected him. Imagine the pain of a Prophet Nuh عليه السلام who spends centuries trying to save his people while watching them walk willingly toward destruction. Yet he never gave up, until finally Allah revealed the heartbreaking truth. No more people from the nation would believe. The time of warning was over. The time of judgment had arrived. And then came a command unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed before. Allah ordered Prophet Nuh عليه السلام to build an ark, a giant ship upon dry land, far away from any sea. No human being could understand why, but prophets do not question Allah. They obey, even when the world calls them foolish. Under the heat of the desert sun, an elderly prophet Nuh عليه السلام begins cutting massive pieces of wood. Day after day, year after year, the sound of hammering echoes through barren land as the skeleton of an enormous ship slowly rises from the earth. Huge beams are lifted into place. Thick ropes pull heavy planks together. The ark grows larger with every passing day. And surrounding it, laughter, relentless laughter. Every time the leaders passed by, they mocked him. "O Prophet Nuh عليه السلام, where is the ocean for your ship? Has old age destroyed your mind?" Some laughed so hard they could barely stand. Others gathered their children simply to watch and ridicule the Prophet of Allah. But Prophet Nuh عليه السلام never reacted with anger, because he already knew what they did not. The flood was coming. The Quran describes that the ark was built under the guidance of Allah Himself. Every plank was part of divine protection. Every nail carried mercy. This was not just wood floating on water. This ark was the final refuge for the believers on earth. Then, slowly, the atmosphere began to change. The winds no longer felt normal. The skies became darker with each passing day. Fear quietly entered the hearts of people, though they could not explain why. Something terrifying was approaching. And then the sign appeared. Allah informed Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام, that when water bursts from the earth, the flood has begun. The final hour had arrived. And then it happened. Without warning, the earth erupted. Water burst violently from the ground beneath human feet. Springs exploded from places nobody expected. Water poured through streets, homes, valleys, and fields. At the exact same moment, the skies opened. Rain crashed down with terrifying force. Not ordinary rain, not a normal storm. This was punishment descending from the heavens. The people froze in horror. Moments earlier they had been laughing. Now panic consumed the entire nation. Children screamed. Mothers ran desperately through rising water. Men climbed rooftops searching for escape. But the flood spread faster than human imagination. The ground disappeared beneath violent waves. Villages drowned within moments. The believers rushed toward the ark, while Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام, gathered them aboard exactly as Allah commanded. Pairs of animals entered the ship, and as the doors of the ark closed, the world outside descended into chaos. Massive waves crashed across the land like moving mountains. Thunder shook the skies. Lightning tore through darkness. The ocean rose higher and higher until it swallowed everything in sight. And then the ark began to sail, not upon a peaceful sea, but upon the destruction of an entire civilization. Among all the terrifying moments of the flood, one scene carried unimaginable pain. Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام, looked into the distance and saw his own son standing among the disbelievers. A son he loved, a son he had raised with his own hands. As deadly waves rose around them, the heart of a father could not remain silent. Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام, called out desperately, "My son, come aboard with us and do not remain with the disbelievers." Imagine the emotion in that moment. An elderly prophet surrounded by destruction, begging his child to enter salvation before it is too late. But arrogance can blind the human heart even at the edge of death. His son refused. He believed a mountain could protect him from the decree of Allah. "I will climb a mountain that will save me from the water." What terrifying delusion, to think stone can protect against the command of the Creator of the heavens and earth. Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام, cried out one final warning. There is no protection today from Allah's decree except for those upon whom He has mercy. Then suddenly, a giant wave rose between father and son, and within seconds, his son disappeared beneath the flood forever. Imagine the silence that followed. Even a prophet could not save his own child without faith, because on the day of Allah's judgment, blood relations mean nothing without belief. The flood continued relentlessly. The Quran describes waves like mountains. Imagine the ark climbing enormous walls of water beneath skies filled with darkness and thunder. Everywhere the believers looked, there was only ocean. No cities, no roads, no statues, no signs of the powerful nation that once mocked the warnings of Prophet Nuh, عليه السلام. Everything had drowned, Palaces vanished beneath waves, homes collapsed into the sea, entire generations disappeared forever. The voices that once laughed at the ark had been replaced by terrifying silence. Inside the ship, the believers held tightly to faith while the storm raged around them from every direction. Then, finally, after the punishment was complete, Allah commanded the sky to stop raining. Immediately, the heavens became silent, and Allah commanded the earth to swallow its water. Slowly, the violent flood began to retreat. The giant waves weakened, the dark clouds separated, light returned to the sky, and after unimaginable destruction, the ark finally came to rest upon Mount Judy. Imagine stepping out of the ark after witnessing the destruction of an entire civilization. No voices remain, no laughter remains, no kings, no armies, no proud leaders, only silence stretching across the earth. The people who mocked the ship drowned beneath the flood they believed would never come, and the small group of believers who trusted Allah became the survivors of humanity.